What's going on, fight fans, and welcome back to the show. Ryan Jarrell, joined by UFC Middleweight Joseph Ugly Man Holmes, as always, and we have another special guest on the show. This time, it's UFC welterweight Alex Morono on to help us break down UFC Vegas 71. Alex, how are you?
Cool, good man. Just got home from some errands and some jujitsu, so it's been a good day so far.
Very cool, man. Well, we really appreciate you jumping on and joining us here today. Let's start, as always, with the main event. And this is a great card, guys. The main event is one I am just salivating for. It's Petr Yan, Merab Dvalishvili. And Yan's the favorite, minus 250. Merab plus 210 as the underdog. Alex, since you're our guest, I want to start with you, my man. How do you see this fight going? Who do you think is going to get their hand raised?
Man, so they both fought Jose Aldo. And Merab was able to win the decision, but Yan was able to do some pretty thorough damage. So I think that's a good fight to kind of see how the guys' styles can pit against each other. And Merab would usually win by frustrating guys in the cage, but I don't think Petr Yan's going to get out grappled much in this fight. So I think his striking difference will be the difference in this scrap. That'll be cool. I can see Yan tagging him up and either winning a decision or getting maybe a late fight finish.
Joseph?
Yeah, I'm with them there. I got Petr Yan all day.
Yeah, I mean, I'll make it 3 for 3. I think this is a fight that Yan has to win. He wants to get back, to the top of the division. He doesn't want to lose this fight to Merab. But I'll tell you what, from a betting aspect, it is a little tricky. I think Merab stylistically could potentially give him some fits, but I do like Yan. I think he's going to find a way to win. I don't think he finishes him, but I think it goes the distance and he wins a decision. Do you feel the same way, Joseph?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he has a chip on his shoulder right now and a lot to prove. And I don't know if he's going to let Merab be the one to stop him right now. So,
yeah. If he does get this one, how do you feel about what's next for him, Alex?
For Yan?
Yes.
I mean, that'll keep him right in the top 5. Let me just click their weight class really quick. I mean, he's ranked number 4 on Tapology. Oh, so you got Sandhagen versus Cheeto. If Yan's able to win, he can maybe fight the winner of that fight, which is the main event here in March in San Antonio coming up. Or he can just kind of sit around the top and fight Aljo or O'Malley. Honestly, there's a lot of fun fights to make at bantamweight, but it's really interesting to see the winner of that fight and the winner of the Cheeto Sandhagen fight. I think if those two guys fight each other, the winner should definitely get a title shot.
Yeah, I'm with that 100%. I think the UFC needs to get both of you guys on that UFC San Antonio card. What do you think of that?
That'd be awesome.
That was the only request I had after taking that short notice scrap. It didn't happen, which is cool, but I do wish I could be a little more active.
All right, well, we'll see what the UFC does. Excited to see both of you guys whenever that is next. Let's move to the co-main event. Alexandr Volkov and then Alexander Romanov on the other side, and this is a close one. The big boys, heavyweights. Romanov is your favorite, minus 150. Volkov is the dog, plus 130. Joseph, I'll start with you here for this one. How do you see this fight shaking out?
I'm not the biggest fans of either of these guys, honestly, but I do see the favorite just probably pulling it off.
Yeah, I mean, Romanov has looked, very, very good so far from what we've seen in the UFC. Alex, do you concur, or do you feel like the Russian Volkov's going to get his hand raised?
So this one I was looking at was a little trickier because, Volkov has gone 3 wins and 2 losses in his last 5, but all of them to top-level guys. He fights, Rosenstrike, Aspinall. He beat Tybura, who got a draw, or maybe even beat Romanov. So I just know Volkov has had much tougher fights at heavyweight, and Romanov has done really well with what he's been given. But his first real challenging opponent in Marcin Tybura, he lost that decision, and he didn't look very good doing it. So Volkov's a huge step up in competition. I actually have Volkov winning that fight, either by TKO or decision.
Okay, so there's some dog money right there. If you're looking to win a little bit of money, you could do that on the underdog, Alexandr Volkov. Really interesting. I actually don't necessarily disagree with that, and I think everything you said is very true. This is the stiffest test for Romanov so far. So we'll see if he passes it with flying colors or if Volkov gets his hand raised. Now, This next fight was supposed to be the main event for UFC Vegas 70, but it's been moved, and now here it is: Ryan Spann and Nikita Krylov. Spann is a small underdog, plus 145, depending on what site you want to bet on. Nikita Krylov is your favorite, minus 170. Alex, do you think Superman is going to get his hand raised, or do you think the safe money's with Krylov?
So I'm a little biased. I train with Spann. Thankfully, I don't have to spar with him, but like he's one of my trainers. He's one of the guys on the team. And man, I'll tell you, back when they were supposed to fight, I never seen Spann in such good shape pre-fight. Man, I know he trained his butt off. He was looking lean and mean. I think he's got a better arsenal to finish Krylov. Krylov's got some experience under his belt, but so does Spann. And Krylov is just awkward. He's got like drunken kung fu style. But I got Spann all day, especially on how freaking deadly he looked against Eon and Dominic Reyes. So man, like I don't ask me because I'm super biased, but I got Spann winning that one all day long.
Yeah, and I know you're biased too, Joseph. So just go ahead and say it.
I do love Spann, man, but he's been looking awesome too, bro. His right hand has been deadly. His takedown offense and defense is on point, and he hasn't had to show it too much lately. I think I got Ryan Spann as well.
All right. And that fight's actually at 215 pounds. Do either one of you guys think that's going to make a difference?
I mean it'll be an easier weight cut for Spann. I'm not too sure what Krylov cuts, but if anything, I think that'll play in the favor of Spann more.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, those big boys don't want to cut weight anyway, so they get to come out a little bit closer to walk around weight. I think that'll benefit Spann.
What does Spann walk around at?
He's a big guy, dude. He probably walks like probably 250.
I mean, he could heavyweight and he would not be small. I don't know. I don't know those numbers, but I almost don't want to know.
Yeah. I still think that the UFC needs to implement a 225-pound division. It's just such a drastic gap between light heavyweight and the heavyweight maximum of 265. It's crazy to me. I feel like there needs to be something in the middle. You guys agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, there though, 205 to 225. I mean, it is a big jump from 05 to 20 plus, but no, I don't think so. I think the weight class could be somewhere like in between, like welterweight and light heavy somewhere.
Yeah, plus there's so few high-level 205ers and heavyweights. I think adding a weight class would just dilute it even more. Like, I don't even want a 165-pound class. I actually am really happy with where they got everything.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you guys are the pros, so I'll just go with what you say. We'll keep it moving here to the next fight, where we'll drop down to the featherweight division. Ricardo Ramos and Austin Lingo. And Ramos is a pretty big favorite, minus 350. Lingo is the dog, plus 285. Joseph, I actually got to see Ramos. He came up to my hometown, Bangor, Maine. He fought at Dana White's looking for a fight. I was cage side for that fight. And man, he looked so good. And that was 6-7 years ago at this point. He's only gotten better. I like the odds for this one. I'm going with Ramos. What do you think, Mr. Holmes?
Man, I don't like that, man. My boy Lingo, man, that's my guy right there. And he's just built different, dude. When it comes to the fight game, Austin Lingo is a savage. And outside of all the experience he has, and he has a really good fight IQ, man. He can go 3 rounds with the best of the best in his division, in my opinion. I got Austin Lingo winning this knockout second round.
Ooh, okay, Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, when I saw this matchup, I actually like both guys, but like naturally Lingo's a Fortis dude. And man, he can crack. He's got good boxing and he can hit as hard as anyone. So like he's you know, he's not gonna I don't think he'll sit there and try to grapple much. I know Ramos got some dynamic striking too. That's gonna be a super fun fight for the fans. I was a little surprised to hear those odds. When I saw the match, I knew that was a tough match for Lingo. But Lingo's done well. He's 2 wins and 1 loss in the UFC. All decisions, got a lot of cage time. So I'm definitely pulling for my boy Lingo to win. I'd love to see him win by KO. But I think that's just going to be a banger of a fight no matter what happens.
Okay. I should have known. I should have known to just go with Lingo. I'm going to know better moving forward. We'll just keep it moving. But next time, I got to go with the Fortis guys. All right.
Favorite the Dallas guy. Favorite the Texans, bro.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Very good. Stupid by me. Said Nurmagomedov and Jonathan Martinez. I can't wait for this fight because I'm really high on Jonathan Martinez, but I mean, there's a Nurmagomedov on the other side of the cage, and he's the favorite, minus 255. Jonathan Martinez plus 215. Joseph, what do you think about this fight? Do you feel like Martinez can pull the small upset, or is the safe money on Said Nurmagomedov?
I mean, I really, really like Martinez like a lot. I love like his style of striking. I love all the trickiness he adds into seat. He does a lot of like weird feints that lead to like kill shots. Like he feints with his kicks and then comes up with a knee. I really like Martinez. This might be a tough one for him, but I think I could see him pulling it off. Maybe some type of flash knockout or something.
Alex, what do you think?
Man, I think Nurmagomedov wins the decision, but I think it's a very competitive fight. Anyone looking to see Nurmagomedov steamroll through Martinez is not going to happen. Gee, Martinez is good. I just looked up his record in the UFC. It is what 8-3, which is really solid. He's on a 4-fight win streak, and like the guys he's lost to have been pretty solid. But the guys he's beaten have been really good as well. Martinez is he's a dark horse in the division, but he's got a tough matchup on his hands for sure. It's a tough fight. You have Nurmagomedov winning by decision.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I think, but it's not what I hope happens. Obviously, I'd like to see the American Jonathan Martinez get his hand raised, but this is a tough fight. Nurmagomedov's no joke. I mean, some people I've talked to think that he potentially is a future champion. So we'll see if he can pass this test. It's probably the toughest test maybe of his career so far in Jonathan Martinez. Now, this next fight is actually a pick'em. We're going up to light heavyweight. Vitor, Petrino, and Anton Turkalj. And again, it's a pick 'em. I'll start with you, Alex. Do you favor one guy over the other, or do you feel like this really is a toss-up?
Yeah, this is a toss-up. I don't know the guys that well, but they're both pretty big light heavyweights, so it's just fun to watch big, strong guys punch each other hard. So I think this is just a fun one for the fans. I hope the guys stand and crack, and one of them can maybe try to make a name for themselves.
What do you think, Joseph?
Is Anton that short, chunky guy who does the flips and the splits and stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm actually not aware of who either of these guys are right now. I think I need to see their faces. I wish I was like you guys and had it pulled up, but I don't.
Okay, well, I can tell you that both of these guys are still, fairly early on in their careers. I mean, as far as Vitor goes, this will be his actual UFC debut. He had a Contender Series win over Rodolfo Bellato in September. And Anton, let me just pull that up just to double check here. Yeah, so this will be his second UFC fight. He lost to Jalton Almeida in the first round in his debut. No shame in losing to Almeida. That guy's an absolute beast. So we'll see what both of these guys have, but we're seeing it more and more. Just same thing for you, Joseph. I mean, coming out of Contender Series, there's so many guys that are getting their start in the UFC after making a name for themselves in Contender Series. It's really cool to see.
Oh, we're very fortunate to have Contender Series, that's for sure.
100%. So that's a fight to keep your eyes on. I'll stay away from it from a betting aspect, and we'll keep it moving here. Carl Williams, Lucas Brzezinski. Carl Williams is the favorite, minus 235. Lucas is plus 200 as your underdog. Alex, what do you think about this fight?
Again, I didn't know either guy. I remember watching Williams on Contender, but nothing stood out. But again, it's heavyweights. Both guys are, combine both the records together. I got more fights than these guys, so they're still pretty green as professionals. But I mean, who doesn't like watching heavyweight scraps? That'll be a fun one. But I have no clue who to choose.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Joseph, you feeling the same way?
Yeah, I'm with you guys here. Sorry.
All right. Well, this next fight is going to be absolute fireworks. Davy Grant, Rafael Assunção. Davy Grant is a small favorite, minus 130, minus 140, depending on what site you want to bet with. Rafael Assunção is your dog, plus 115. Joseph, we'll start with you for this one. Do you feel like the veteran Assunção gets his hand raised, or Davy Grant gets in the win column here?
Both guys are super aggressive. I do like that Assunção will look for grappling a lot more often. So I think I'm sticking with the vet, but I think the dog can pull it off on this one for sure. Both guys super aggressive, though. I think we got a banger.
For sure. Alex?
Yeah, I actually got Davy Grant winning on this one. He's just got a little more momentum. than a Sun. Sun's great, but he's like an old dog. He's been in the mix a long time. And Davies one of those guys. He's just volatile. He'll find big damage. He won't settle on his back. I was actually really looking forward to this fight, but I can see Sun like really trying to like cage fight and wrestle, and I can see Davy Grant just trying to do damage from whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun fight. This is one that the hardcore fans are going to love, because both of these guys are very well known and really bring it each and every time. Now, this next fight, Joshua Fremd and Cedric Dumas. Fremd is the dog here, plus 180, Dumas minus 210. And on another note, both of your $100 checks are in the mail, so be on the lookout for that. And I'll start with you, Joseph, since this is your weight class, my man. Did that go over both of your head? Did you not hear about that?
No.
I'll take
it. Let me make sure I gave you the right address.
So Dumas came out and said that he was charging $100 for interviews, and it was like this big thing on Twitter. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well,
I remember they had offered me him at one point, and I didn't know anything about him, but he was like, I just remember seeing he was trending online or something about something, but no.
Well, this is your weight class. So how do you see this one going? I think it's obviously a contrast in styles. We know what Fremd wants to do. He wants to get it to the ground. I think Dumas is more of a stand-up fighter. Do you think he keeps it on the feet, or does this hit the mat and Fremd gets a sub?
I feel like after Fremd's last loss, he's going to have something to prove on the stand-up. So I could see him standing up with SD for a while. But honestly, SD seems really like explosive and not the most like technical, but really athletic and explosive. So I could see him catching Fremd early on when Fremd's trying to get loose, but I don't know if Fremd's going to try and grapple this guy, honestly. This guy's really big. Like, he's kind of big and like just really aggressive. And Fremd's kind of like lanky, which I do like Fremd, but I think he'll stand with him for a while.
Alex, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think SD gets a finish in the first round in this fight. No knock on Josh, but just SD is an explosive finisher. Josh hasn't had a lot of success in the UFC, so I think this is one of those matchmaking scenarios where, like, Josh, it's his last fight, and if he doesn't make it happen, they're probably going to cut him. So he's got to really, really go for broke, and they're giving him a guy who will stand and trade with them and go for broke in the first. So I think that's going to be a super explosive first round and a fun one to watch.
Yeah. Definitely a fun one to watch. Looking forward to that one. Guido Canetti is back in action against Mario Batista. Canetti, 43 years old, I think. I mean, it's really impressive. You see these guys in their 40s, especially at the smaller weight classes, to be able to still be in the best organization in the world, competing at the highest levels. But man, Mario Batista is an absolute dog. He's a huge, huge favorite. Minus 950. Guido's plus 650 as an underdog. I just don't see any way Guido wins this. I think this is Batista all day. This is my safest bet on the whole card. I'll start with you, Alex. Do you agree, or do you feel like Guido can pull a shocker here?
Yeah, Batista's a beast. I mean, he really is. I see him winning this fight kind of anywhere. But, dude, Guido Canetti, they've not done any favors for him. They brought him into losing a bunch of fights, and he was able to get some wins. He beat Moutinho. He's coming off the win against Randy Costa. I mean, he's a dog. I mean, I like watching Canetti fight. I do see him getting finished by Batista, but I think that's going to be another fun, just kind of battle of attrition. And I think Batista takes it kind of anywhere he wants, but it'll be a fun, competitive fight.
Joseph, you agree?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I do like Canetti, though. He's very entertaining to watch. But yeah, no, I could see it even early, honestly, because it kind of takes Canetti a second to get going. And Batista just freaking brings it. So I'm excited to see this one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I always, like I said, I just appreciate the fact that he's 43 still doing this. That's truly remarkable, whether he wins or loses. JJ Aldridge, Ariane Lipski is up next. JJ is a pretty sizable favorite, minus 450. Lipski is the dog, plus 350. Joseph, what do you see in this fight?
I like JJ. She's very interesting to watch as well. She comes forward. She throws heavy hands, which I like people that throw hands. Her opponent's super attractive, but her style just isn't really there. I think she's the taller girl as well. I'm going with JJ.
Alex?
Yeah, JJ's actually done really well in the UFC, 7-4 overall. That's a lot of wins in the UFC. That's a lot of experience overall. And yeah, Lipski, I mean, she's not bad. She's not a bad looking girl, but she's in 5 overall. I just think she's gonna get a little outmatched here. One thing about Lipski, she'll stand and crack, which is admirable for the ladies. So, but I think JJ just beats her anywhere. I think JJ beats her on the ground, finishes on the ground.
Okay. Not to get too far off topic, but do you guys have an opinion for who is the most attractive female fighter in the UFC?
The most attractive. Well, I mean, Lipski's very attractive. Like, she's super hot. Most?
Yeah, is there someone that you think is more appealing?
I don't know.
That
Go
question.
ahead. What did you say, Alex?
I said I'll let my wife answer for me. I have no answer there.
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't have one either, honestly. But Lipski's pretty hot.
Okay, fair enough. We'll keep it moving. You said she was attractive, so I had to ask. I was just curious if you guys had any thoughts. Now, this next fight, guys, I have to admit, I have circled. I love Tony Gravely. I've been interviewing Tony Gravely long before he ever made it into the UFC, and I think he's one of the nicest guys that I've ever had the pleasure of speaking to. He's a small underdog here, plus 120, and Victor Henry is the favorite, minus 140. I want to start with you, Alex. Do you think that Gravely and his wrestling will get the win, or do you feel like Victor Henry is the rightful favorite and should get his hand raised?
Man, I didn't think Victor Henry was a good matchup for him stylistically. Man, Victor's really experienced. He wrestles well. He strikes well for his wrestling style. I actually think like he's just a little bit better at Gravely's strengths than Gravely is. So I actually got Victor winning this one by a decision.
Joseph?
Yeah, I'm actually agreeing with him. I got Victor winning this by decision as well, but I think that it'll be a really competitive match until it isn't anymore because both guys are really explosive. So I can see it like starting like way up here, but ending kind of like down here. But yeah, I got Victor winning.
All right. It's a good thing you guys are both active UFC fighters and you can't bet on fights because if you did, you'd lose everything on this one. Tony Gravely for the win. He's going to get it done. I'm biased, just like you guys with Fortis. I'm going with my guy Gravely here. Now, Tyson Nam, Bruno Silva. This is going to be a fun one. Tyson Nam, small underdog, plus 180. Bruno Silva, minus 210. Joseph, do you think there's some dog money on Tyson Nam here?
I actually like Tyson. I think he's really like poised. I think he has some good composure in there as well. He is fighting beast though, but I think he could pull it off. Actually, I think his composure can pull this one off.
Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, man, both, Tyson Nam, when he wins by knockout. And honestly, Bruno Silva's coming off two KO finishes. So, man, these guys are short. They're explosive, they're strong. I'd like to see these guys stand toe-to-toe and box it out. If that's the case, I can see either guy winning by KO, but I'm going to have to go with Tyson on this one.
I'm going with Tyson as well. I think he gets it done. One more fight that I actually don't see the odds for, but let's talk about it anyways. Jared Gooden, Carlston Harris, and this is actually your weight class, Alex. So let me start with you here. Do you have a favorite in this one? Do you think someone really should go out there and look better than the other?
Yeah, I got a little more skin in the game on this fight than you'd think. Carlston Harris was supposed to fight my boy Ramez Brahimov, but Ramez, man, he had a pretty bad injury that he's dealing with. So I actually did a lot of tape study on Carlston Harris and was like ready to emulate his style in training. Fight didn't pan off, so he was supposed to fight Abubakar Nurmagomedov, but Nurmagomedov got sick. That's Habib's brother. So, man, they actually re-signed Jared Gooden. I just saw this matchup right now in this interview. But, like, good for Jared Gooden. He got signed. He didn't do that hot. He's good. He got cut, but he took this fight short. He's signed in again. He's pretty experienced. He's fought a lot since he got cut. Man, I'm actually not too sure what the odds are. I'd imagine Carlston Harris is going to be a slight favorite. But that's not an easy fight for either guy. I think the fight, it takes place everywhere. And if Carlston's not on his defensive P's and Q's, he can get caught. And that's a fun fight. I'm going to go with Carlston to win, though. Just because in the UFC, he's historically done better than good.
Joseph, do you have any thoughts on that fight?
No, man, I think he's definitely got way more skin on this one than I do. So no, I'm staying away from this fight.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that's the whole card. We ran through that pretty fast, just in about 25 minutes. Before we do sign off, I want to talk about best bets. I already told you guys what I think. I think Mario Batista is the safest bet for me on this card. Alex, you're our guest, so let me ask you first. Is there one fight or another, or maybe two or three that really stand out to you that you feel really confident someone's going to win?
Yeah, I think a good parlay would be like Petr Yan and Alexandr Volkov. He's our dog. I do think he'll win this fight, and then maybe Ryan Spann. So I mean, a parlay with Yan, Volkov, and Spann. That's got to pay good money, or go Petr Yan with Spann, so you get a favorite and a slight dog. But yeah, I just think Spann by finish may be a good bet. But again, people ask me betting advice all the time. I tell them not to listen to me because I'm like emotionally invested in some of these guys. And like, no matter the odds, I believe my boy will win. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not the best guy to ask.
Okay, fair enough. Joseph, what do you think, my man? Is there a fight or two that stands out to you?
Yeah, I would go with JJ Aldrich and Austin Lingo. I think that'd be a nice little two. Maybe for a parlay, JJ, Lingo, and Spann. Like he said, I think Spann has a good chance. Yeah, I think that's what I would go for.
Okay. All right. I like it. Where are you guys watching the fights this weekend? Are you at home? Are you getting together with teammates? What's the plan?
Oh, I thought he was good. I don't know. People just hit me up last minute and I decided. So I don't know.
Man, I'm an old man. We're gonna train super hard Saturday morning. We do 90 minutes of live grappling and then some hard boxing. And then we go eat good. I usually go home and take a nap. And then I lay in bed with my wife and we watch the fights like two old people.
I love that, though. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'll be doing. I'll be in my man cave with my dog on my lap, just taking it easy. That's one of my favorite things to do on the weekend is just relax, kick my feet up and watch fights. Alex, we really appreciate you coming in and doing this today. It was a lot of fun. Before we do sign off, I want to give the floor to you, my man. If there's anything you want to plug, let people know where to follow you on social media. I'm going to give you the floor. Let people know where they can find you.
Cool, thanks. I don't really do much social media work. When I get a fight booked, I'll make a post, and then when I win the fight, ideally, I'll make a post. But no, just shout out to all my teammates, my gym, Gracie Baja, the Woodlands. I love my teammates, all the cross training boys at War, and the National, all my boys at Fortis. It takes a small army to prepare the warriors for battle. So I'm always grateful I have my training partners.
Awesome. Again, we appreciate it, Joseph. Always good talking to you, my man. Look forward to the next one. And Alex, come back and visit us sometime.
Heck yeah, you got it. Let me know.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate you, brother.